about when I first was elected as a member of parliament, I was not in very good books with the KANU government at that time, although I was a KANU member of parliament. And that is the reason why Madoka says I was very outspoken. And let me give a perspective, Marsden, and I tried to explain to you that time that when I did not decide, actually, I did not decide that I was going to run. But one thing led to another, and then I found myself running for a member of parliament. And of course, KANU was the dominant party, and President Moi was a very strong leader. And so when I decided to run, I wasn't the favorite for the KANU party. There were senior people, there were people whose brands were known, and I was really the underdog, and people didn't know me. We didn't have a history of any leadership in our family. And the closest, in fact, I remember during the campaign, for people to understand who I was, I had to make reference to one of our neighbors. I said, oh, you know that Mzee Paul Boit, he was formerly chairman of the county council in Uasin Gishu, and he was a fairly wealthy person. So I used to say, I am a neighbor of Paul Boit. That is the closest I came to in terms of brand. And so the reason why I was fairly outspoken initially was because I felt I hadn't been treated well by both KANU and the leader of KANU then, the former President Moi, who later became a very good friend of mine after he understood me. So when I ran in the KANU elections, the KANU machine was really against me. And Moi himself came to Eldoret and told people, please, elect people who are known. And he mentioned the name of our former member of parliament. He was called Saina. He mentioned the name of another very wealthy and known person called Chesire. And he said, I understand there are some characters running around here, and we don't know them. So be very careful. So, and I was in the crowd there, okay. So, but it didn't deter me. I ran, and finally I defeated these big people in the KANU nominations. So then we were all KANU now nominees. Then President Moi came to Eldoret for the presidential rally. Now I have been nominated. We were 3 people nominated in Uasin Gishu. So then President Moi is there and he says, okay. He, of course, campaigned, asked for his votes, and then he said, okay, and there are people who have been elected here, members of parliament. In fact, one of the members of parliament, one of the 3, had been elected unopposed. He was called Mr. Tarar. So he said, thank you very much. You have elected Mr. Tarar unopposed. And then there was another teacher there. He had also been nominated. And then myself. And so when it came to me, he said, then there is this other one who, I don't know his parents. And, but anyway, he has been, because he has been nominated as member of KANU, please vote for him. So that was the problem. That must, and I tried to explain to you that time. I felt it was very unfair that not having a background became a big problem to my election. And then moving on to the lunch. Again, Masden Madoka has talked about this lunch business. So subsequently, of course, when I had been elected and I was, and I used to speak a lot, you know. I think I have reduced nowadays. And of course, Moi started to see, oh, this young man is a bit noisy, but he speaks sense, or so he thought. So slowly he said, he asked Bishop Yego then, and another gentleman called Hosea Kiplagat. So he told them, this young man, I understand he's a member of our church, the IC church, okay? But why is he making noise? Why don't you look for him? So Bishop Yego came and met me, and then he told me, now, you know, and Bishop Yego is somebody I really have a lot of respect for, because when I wanted to get married, I went to look for him to come and preside over my wedding, because I had a lot of regard for him. So he came and told me, now you have been elected. Moi is like your father, and you are also a Christian. So in all this noise you are making, where is your Christianity? And where is your regard for this old man as your father? So they cornered me, and I had to tone down. And of course there was Masden, who also gave me a few lectures. And so finally, I made friends with President Moi. He came to understand that I wasn't quite a very useless person or noisy, you know. And progressively, then he appointed me to be an assistant minister. I think a year and a half into my being a member of parliament. And so I joined Masden. And when I then joined Moi, he became very fond of me, so he gave me something that many people did not have. It's only people like Amos Wako and senior people, including the minister. There used to be something called a hotline those days. This hotline thing was a telephone there that did not have secretaries. It was the president's telephone. He used to use it to call people directly himself. So if that phone rang, you know it was either the president on the line or one of the senior people. So I became the only assistant minister then with a hotline. So the president would pick up the phone, okay, where are you? Come and do this, this, this. So, so a few times, it was not always Masden, a few times I came for lunch here. But you see, the problem that Masden has not said is that he used not to go for lunch. You see? And he tried to persuade me to join into the group of people not going for lunch. So I remember during lunchtime, he would shut his door and take a nap in his office. True, Master? Yes. Just imagine now somebody telling you, during lunchtime, we take a nap to learn. So, and it took a lot of offense when I took so much time on this lunch business, which he didn't have business with. So, but you admit, Master, I answered all the questions. When I didn't go for this lunch, I answered all the questions well, very well. And we did very well then as a pack, myself working under Master. And finally, he has mentioned something about ambition, that I was a fairly ambitious person, which is true. I tried to do whatever I set my hands on to do. I tried to do it well, and to do it with passion, and to do it with commitment. And I have no regrets whatsoever in being ambitious and having a passion for what I do, because I have come across many leaders, many members of parliament, many governors, people who are elected. And once they are elected, they behave as if they were forced into these offices. They are very reluctant. They lose interest. They don't have interest in what they are doing. They have no passion for what they are doing. And they end up doing a very poor job of the very heavy responsibilities that come with leadership. You find there are people who are very reluctant leaders. They are there. They do not want to engage with the stuff they are supposed to do. They become big people, bigger than the jobs that they have applied for. And they just want to own the title and the position without doing what is expected of them. And that is what Marsden has written in his book. It's not about position, it's not about title. It's about what gets done. Many a times I am accused of micromanaging stuff. But you see, when you have reluctant people whose mentality it is, tumeona serikali nyingi, we've been here, we've seen many ministers, we've seen many presidents, because it is the business as usual stuff. It is the roll of the mill, normal stuff. And that is the reason why I have taken it upon myself in the last 3 years to raise the ambition of our country. For far too long, Marsden, we have worked with the usual. We have made peace with mediocrity. We have